No W-2? That doesn't necessarily mean no mortgage. If you're a business owner, a commissioned earner, or even an investor, you may have more mortgage options than you think.
Welcome to Coffee with Steve Margaux. I'm Steve Drake.
And I'm Margaux Drake. And this morning you get to meet one of our trusted partners, Brendan O'Driscoll. He is the co-founder of Treadstone Funding, a division of Neighborhood Loans. Good morning, Brendan.
Good morning. I'm glad you guys asked me to come on. This is exciting.
You're very welcome.
Well, we're so excited to have you here. Tell everyone who you are, what you do, and your favorite thing about West Michigan.
So I have been in the mortgage business. I'm a loan officer, started this company, run our branch in our region. I'm in my 29th year. Nobody gets in the mortgage business on purpose. I actually have a civil engineering degree, and my parents said, "You're gonna do what?" But 29 years later, what do I like about and what I do? What I do is not the mortgage nerdery of it. I think that I give good people great advice. And I really think that that's what separates us. We're not just a cookie cutter place. You have to have something custom crafted for you to make sure it fits your budget and your needs versus somebody just telling you have to do it this way or that way. And my favorite thing about West Michigan, I would probably say Lake Michigan. I mean, it's so great to see. And your dog just stuck his head in the picture. And
yes, he's coming onto the show.
Watching my dog run around Lake Michigan.
Wesley.
He doesn't often do that.
He's only done that twice.
You must be very interesting to him.
I'm a dog nut. And watching my dog run around the beach at Lake Michigan is one of my favorite things. But really just that how it's different every day. You're out there every night. If you see the sun go down, it's so cool. That's
so different. The water looks different every day. The sky, the light. I love that.
Yeah, my wife calls it hey, my favorite show's coming on, and that's the sunset. So
that's it. I like that.
I love that. All right, so let's talk about those people that may think that they don't qualify for a mortgage, because we get that question all the time from people that don't have a W-2.
Yeah, there's a lot of unique products out there, and a lot of them are called non-QM mortgages. They're non-qualified mortgages. Doesn't mean there's anything wrong with them. They're just not your generic conventional Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac loan, or FHA or VA or the USDA loan. So, and sometimes they're for just people with hard to qualify income. Sometimes they're great for investors, and a lot of people don't know anything about them. And it's actually a really big part of the lending and real estate world that a lot of people just don't know anything about. So if you want, I can roll through a few of them kind of generically, and if you have questions, stop me.
Yes, please do.
So the hot one that people talk about is called DSCR. It stands for Debt Service Coverage Ratio. It's only for second homes. It's not for owner-occupied primary residences, and it does not take into account the borrower's income at all. All right, so it's for investment properties, vacation homes, and you can also use it for short-term rental like Airbnb and VRBO. So, but it's just simply based on what the rent is versus the payment. So let's say you have a property that rents for $2,000 a month, and the payment with taxes and insurance and everything is $1,600. So 2,000 over 1,600 is 1.25. 1.25 is a good ratio score. It has to be at least 1. Yeah, so if it's 3,000 over 2, that's 1.5. That's better. And what that does is it gets better rates and terms as that gets better. And one of the subtleties that I will tell you is if somebody's just going to buy a house and flip it and be done with it in 6 to 8 months, they might use this program to get it. And then at that point, I kind of say, who cares about the interest rate? And I say that because if I put, these are the only loans out there that have prepayment penalties. If I put a 1-year prepayment penalty on that, it might drop the rate from 7.25 to 6.875. And generally, people are like, oh, that's kind of high. As a rule, investment properties have higher rates than when you buy your primary residence. I know you guys know that. So, and I haven't looked at anything lately, so that's not like a fresh quote. But when you put a 1 or 2 year prepayment penalty on because somebody says, yeah, we always wanted to get a a 2 or a 4 unit, and we're going to keep this, we're going to rent it out for 5 or 10 years, then yeah, let's take advantage of the rate. And I will say that all these programs I talk about, we also do look at the alternative of, hey, maybe you should just buy this conventionally because you qualify for it. So we don't just run down one road. We see what's the best option. So
Sure.
So that's the DSCR loan, and I'm trying to see if I have any other notes. So you don't need income. I mean, really, we don't. If you work a W-2 job or you're self-employed, I don't put anything down on the application for your income. So literally, it's actually one of the easiest loans we do because I don't have to collect income information because it's not even part of the transaction, which is crazy. I mean, like 2 years ago, I'm like, what? It's so counterintuitive to what I've always done for almost 30 years. So I'm like, wow, this is really cool, actually. And people are, oh, and here's the other thing. So there's a maximum of 10 financed properties you can have with Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, the conventional world. You can have 50 of these. And if you have equity, you can do cash out. If you can't get a regular loan, you can take cash out of one to use as down payment to get the other. Minimum down payment is generally 20% on these two. And 2 months ago, we've never been able to go more than 4 units with anything we lend in the residential world, and we can do 5 to 9 units with these DSCR loans. So that's another world. We don't see them as often as the 1 to 4 units, but it's a new world to us. So it's a great thing to have. So
absolutely,
that's the DSCR loan in a nutshell.
Cool.
That is good news for some people out there.
If someone did want to buy, they needed to buy a primary residence. What would they have to use? And they didn't have a W-2. What kind of product would that be?
So another one of our products is a bank statement loan. So let's say you're self-employed, and like any good self-employed person, you write off absolutely as much as you possibly can, so you don't have to pay Uncle Sam too much at the end of the year. And conventionally, I will say that we always look at personal and business returns for those borrowers because it's not your bottom line page 1 income divided by 12. There are other things that we can add back in, and it's not a black and white formula. Truck drivers write off mileage, and restaurants and hotels and other self-employed people write off other things, or they depreciate their equipment. So there are other things that go back into that calculation conventionally. But a lot of times somebody maybe's been in business for 5, 10, 15 years, and they make good money. And we use what's called a bank statement loan. So we take the average either 12 or 24 months of their bank statements. 24 months bank statements divided by 12 shows a consistent number that's coming in, and that's what we use as their income for the loan. And I will tell you that if you've been in business for at least 5 years doing this, owning that same company, I can do it with just 12 months. And that's great because maybe somebody had an off year 2 years ago, but last year was great. This year we're off to a great start. So I can do it with 12 months. If you've been doing it you have to have at least 3 years. If you've been doing it for 3 years, then we have to get 2 years worth of bank statements just because you're a little bit newer to it.
So there are options for people, whether they want to buy an investment property or a second home, or their primary residence. So go ahead.
I was going to say before I forget, there's another type of loan that's along those lines. It's a 1099 loan, and it has kind of the same rules. So, and actually, the last time I was in your office, I mentioned it, and one of the real estate agents who's 1099 said, "Hey, I need to talk to you about that 1099 loan." So we're working on that with that person today. And it's the same kind of thing. If you've been 1099 for 5 years or more, it's the same thing. We take your 1099 and we divide it by 12. And same thing, 3 years or more, we're going to get 2 years, 24 months of 1099. So that was not available a while back. So it's great for real estate agents, consultants, DJs, oddly enough, rideshare drivers, Uber and Lyft.
Sure. Well, this is the gig economy. So gig workers. You got to make sure that you're taking care of everybody.
Yeah. So those are the three main ones that we see for people purchasing primaries and second homes and investments.
So let's let everybody know how they can get a hold of your team. What's the best way?
Okay, I know everybody likes to push buttons and gets texts and stuff, but I like to talk to people because this is a big deal. It's the biggest thing you've generally ever bought or one of them, and I don't want to get anything wrong. So I don't like online applications. I would rather they call my team line, which is 616-228-6200, and talk to an expert so we can see if now the time is right and point them in the right direction and get them started if they're ready.
That is perfect.
Awesome.
Well, Brendan, thank you so much for being one of the cool people that make West Michigan an extraordinary place to call home.
Thank you guys for having me. This was a lot of fun. I love doing this.
You're very welcome. We'll talk to you later.
Okay.
Until next time, everyone, plant good seeds.
Cheers.